How do you really feel about growing older? We know how we're supposed to feel about it, don't we? We're told by our youth-focused society. But how do women honestly really feel about it? 6 years ago, I photographed 50 women aged between 42 and 75. No makeup, no styling, no filters, no pretending, just women as they really are. I asked them that one simple question that I just asked you. How do you really feel about growing older? And the answers surprised me. Not because they were overly polished or optimistic, but because they were honest. Some women spoke about freedom and relief. Some spoke about grief and illness, menopause, divorce, feeling invisible. Many spoke about confidence that they never expected to find. The project was featured by the BBC, and women travelled from all over the UK to take part. After the interview was aired, another 100 women wrote to me, sending me their no makeup selfies and telling me how they felt about growing older. I made a film putting together all these interviews that I'd done with these women. It's not about embracing ageing, as we're often told to do, as I often say as myself. This is about what older faces really look like. I think it's important that we see everyday women like you and like me, how we actually look age 50, 60, 70 and beyond. If you're watching this from Midlife and Beyond, I hope that you recognise yourself in some of these women's interviews. If you're younger, I hope it challenges what you've been taught to fear about growing older. These voices matter, and 6 years on, they matter even more. This is Face It, Own It, the barefaced truth about midlife women. And if anything here resonates, I'd really love for you to share that in the comments and continue the conversation here, because this conversation matters. So grab a cuppa, sit back and enjoy.
I think us ladies in our older years, we're a force to be reckoned with. We're people with great characters, great spirit, and we've got, I think, more about us than we had when we were younger, because we're not trying to prove anything to anyone other than just be ourselves.
Age really doesn't bother me. You know, for me, it really is just a number. And my feeling is that as long as I've done what I can, within reason, obviously, to feel as well as possible for as long as possible, then, you know, the amount of times I've been around the sun and the number on my birthday card doesn't really matter.
Mentally, I'm in a bit of a dark place, I think, at 53. I feel I've lost my way a bit. I feel like I'm a diluted version of myself. I feel I need to find me again. I'm not sure where or when I lost me. But I feel lost.
Never consider yourself written off. You know, each phase of life is a new phase. And I think when we're younger, it's all about the family. You know, you're a mother, a grandmother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, whatever it might be. But you're always there for somebody else. And so there does come a point where it's about you. And I think it's really important to recognise that you can make a huge amount out of that opportunity.
I wasn't having an easy time. I was going through the menopause, and I was also in a heavy caring role for my parents. Now that I'm gradually getting the other side of both of those things, I'm actually starting to feel that I know me for the first time in my life.
I was actually diagnosed with Lyme disease at the age of 40, and being a mum of 5, it was something that I had to do to adjust my lifestyle and the way that I actually live my life now. But I live every day to the max. I'm looking forward to getting older, spending it with my children, my future grandchildren and my husband, and living every day as if it's my last.
I'm getting my fitness level back on track after this year. For some reason, I went completely off track with it this year, but I'm getting back on track with that, so I feel much better about that. And it's not about the weight for me, it's about feeling strong and fit. So that's why I do what I do with my fitness.
I love getting older. It was nearly denied to me 3 years ago when I got cancer. Didn't think I was going to be sitting here today. So I've always loved life and I've always lived it to the full, but I'm living it even more to the full and I'm loving it even more now.
Age is irrelevant. It's about how we think and how we act. What we see age as, I see it as an opportunity. Over the last 5 years, I've had 2 hip replacements. And now I can actually move forward, fit and able to go into my 50s, late 50s, early 60s, thinking, fantastic. You know, I could run a marathon now. I can do all sorts of different things.
When I was 29, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I was actually only given 3 weeks to live, which now when I think about it, crikey, how frightening. At the time, it was very much focused on, right, how do I get well? I underwent a year of treatment and I was actually allowed out for one day on my 30th birthday from the hospital, having had a stem cell transplant. And that was a massive defining moment for me because I thought, I've got to make it to my 40th. It's not really for me now about worrying about what is the number I'm turning each year. It's more about my health and how I feel in myself.
I feel great, actually. I like my life. I'm happy. Yes, my body's not the way it was in my 20s or my 30s, but actually I'm okay with that.
I've done a lot of soul searching and I'm really happy now. I'm happy with the way that I'm aging. I'm happy with who I am. And I'm happy that with the positive influence that I'm having on other people as well.
I am much happier now in my 40s than I was in my 20s. Being older, I think, gives you freedom to enjoy yourself more, and I find myself looking forward now to the next stage of my life in sort of 15-20 years time and starting to think about that and getting excited about that next phase of my life rather than just thinking, oh, I'm getting old.
I don't have a problem with getting older at all. I had a lot of my life when I was really unhappy when I was younger. And I think getting older now, I'm just glad that I'm in the place that I am and enjoying who I am and really just enjoying life again.
I love this time of my life. I've had a really good time coming into my 50th year next year. So I'm doing what I want to do, just being able to be me, spend time doing what I want to do, running my own business and really connecting with what I want to do.
How do I feel? Fabulous. I feel really confident. I feel really happy with where I am in my life. Lots of life experiences I can draw on. Sometimes, you know, you have to sort of let go of things in your life, and I've learned to live with that, and I realise that's part of evolving as a person.
In truth, I'm not where I would like to be at this stage in my life, both professionally and emotionally. Had a few little setbacks career-wise, and I think recently being overlooked for a promotion gave me some self-esteem issues, and which I'm working through and currently considering what my options are going forward.
It's interesting how I'm suddenly almost being resented by the age that I am, certainly at work, as if I'm some form of dinosaur. And I've had a big issue with depression always throughout life. Probably the last 3 years I've been really struggling. Not so much teary, but I get very anxious and angry about things. Really struggling with every element of my life. And I don't want to be that person anymore. And I know it's not me, but this is our opportunity now to help each other and make people realise that we're not an invisible past it entity. We're still a...
What I find about getting older is how people view you differently. The children at school, I'm a teacher, talk about people who are really, really old, and to them 60 is really, really old. And it's really important to me that people see 60 isn't really, really old. I'm rapidly approaching it, and I'm worth something.
I feel like over the years, I've lost a little bit of confidence, having my little boy and being at home with him for 5 years.
I feel I know who I am a lot better. I'm much more comfortable in my own skin.
I thought I'd be scared to death about getting old. I thought I'd hate the changes in my body. But in reality, it's great. It's really great. I'm loving it because I've got so much more confidence now than I ever had.
I feel that I've never been more comfortable in my own skin than I have at this period in my life. And I think it's important that we can take a stand for ourselves and know that we are enough just by being who we are. We really can make a difference in the world, to make a contribution, when we can believe in ourselves and inspire those around us.
I think I gave myself a new lease of life by getting divorced, and that's given me a bit of time to myself because I get to share my children with their dad. And so I've been able to connect again and find myself and find who I am again, and not really care about what anybody else thinks. Just live my life according to how I want to live it.
I actually feel really good about getting older. I feel a lot more confident than I did when I was younger. I used to spend so much time worrying about how I looked and what people thought of me, and certainly as I'm getting older, that worries me so much less. I'm much happier just to get on with my life and not worry so much about other people. I'm 55 years old and I'm quite comfortable in my skin. When I was younger, I thought I knew everything. Everything was a challenge. You always had to keep up with people and you just wanted people to think the best of you. As I've got older, since being 40 and then going 50, it's easier. I don't need to prove anything to anybody.
Being 53, I actually feel really, really good. I feel better than I did when I was 48. I feel I have more energy. I feel that I can actually be honest and open and not conform to everything that I used to conform to.
I have finally come to terms with the fact that I am getting older. I am about to become a grandma, and at one time of day I would have definitely said I am not old enough to be a grandma, but I have finally accepted the fact that I am, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm newly single, separated from my husband right now, and I am planning a future going forward. Not quite sure what it holds for me, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm not scared anymore.
Everything that I'd felt had defined me for sort of 25 years isn't there anymore. And so I've had a couple of years of really not knowing what I am, not wanting to be anything in particular, quite happy to be invisible. But just recently, suddenly I do have a fire in my tummy that was there about, I don't know, 20 or 30 years ago, and it's come back. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know that I want to have something that's mine.
I've recently been through a very difficult situation, which knocked my self-esteem and my confidence. But that experience isn't going to destroy me or define me and my life. I am who I am. Every line, every wrinkle, scars, they're part of me, part of my life experiences.
4 years ago, my whole world changed completely when my husband died.
He was diagnosed and dead within 131 days. All the planning that we'd done, all the decisions that we'd made together, I'm now living those alone. And the bottom dropped out of my world, and I had to decide who I was going to be, what I was going to be, where I was going to be, because all of those plans were going to be with someone else, and now I was alone. It's a hard life sometimes. I get up in the morning, I try and put a smile on my face. Some days are easier than others. I try and make a memory every day. I smile at strangers, why not? I'm very aware that I've got a lot of changing still to do. And there's a world out there I haven't even started to look at. But that's my next challenge.
Getting older is fine. Getting wrinkly is life, and life's good.
I'm trying to take a bit more time for myself, trying to take care of my skin a bit more than I perhaps have in the past. But I don't see getting old as a bad thing. It's part of who I am. I can't change it, so I might as well embrace it.
Gravity. I'm going to fight it. And wisdom lines, living lines.
And so when I catch myself going, oh, look, your jowls are starting to come, oh, you're getting some wrinkles, I then have a choice whether to follow that train of thought and go, oh, and make myself feel bad, or choose the thought of, actually, I can choose to be in my more permanent, still self.
It's how my body is going to take me on to the next journey when it does get to the point where I'm slowing down. And if I can keep myself active and healthy and have a happy life, I do believe that anything is possible. And who cares about what you look like and how, as long as you're happy in your skin, you can do anything.
Getting older terrifies me. But then I lost my mum when she was 57, so I'm kind of caught between feeling that life is precious and hating the fact that I'm going to get old.
Love yourself more. Don't compare yourself to so many other people. You know, nature doesn't blush. Just be the best you can be.
I feel that my life is actually just starting.
For me, it's freedom. It's being able to be who I am, being accepted as who I am. I don't have to be anyone else anymore.
The God's truth is, I feel fab about it. I've never really experienced a crisis about growing older. I've actually, quite the opposite, I've welcomed it. Being 50 plus now has been such an age of enlightenment, really, and growth.
My age now, as I near my 50s, I think this is the best era for me at the moment. I've met my husband, I had my girls quite late in life. So everything for me seems to be getting better. I feel more confident, I feel more empowered, I feel more better within myself. I've achieved so much more with my day job. I've started my own business up. It just seems everything to me is getting older, it's just getting better and better.
Obviously, I woke up on my 50th birthday and felt exactly the same as I had before. So it is really just a number. It is an opportunity for you to go and do whatever it is that you want and to say, actually, I can do whatever I want.
So moving into my 50s has been an amazing journey. I've put down a lot of the expectations that I had on myself. I don't really care that much about what people think about me. Obviously, it still pops back in, but generally, when I think about when I was in my 30s, a lot of what I did was based on expectations, what I felt I should be doing. Whereas now, it's all about what I want to do, who I want to be, how I want to live the rest of my life. So I see it actually as a real opportunity moving into my later years to really tweak being who I am as a person, celebrating that, living that, enjoying that.
Getting older it's something that's happening to all of us, and it's something that an awful lot of people potentially wish they could, because not everybody has the blessing of being able to get older. So I think that's something that has made a difference to me.
I'm a very cup half full person. I do look in the mirror sometimes and think, I don't recognise that person. I've got more wrinkles, I've got more weight, but I am very grateful to still be here at 48, and I hope to be here for a lot longer.
So I have absolutely no issues about growing old. We've all got to do it.
I do my best to embrace it and be excited as each year comes.
My mind still wants to do things that I could do when I was 21, and the body doesn't want to keep up nowadays. I feel a lot more calm, a lot more sort of relaxed about everything.
As I'm starting to approach 47, I'm thinking, actually, it's not so bad. The grey hairs and the lines that I've been fighting for years, and the fact that I actually haven't got quite as much energy, but I don't really want to do as many things either, so that's all okay. And I figure, well, if it's not about getting old, then it means I wouldn't be here, so I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to still be here.
And actually now I'm becoming the age where I'm very likely to become invisible. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. Physically, I'm working harder than I think I ever have on my own physical strength. I'm exercising, I'm eating better. I am going to get through this, a few years of the menopause, by being fitter and stronger. And I guess I'm getting ready, because what I do now will shape my old age. I know that. I am absolutely convinced, though, that we midlife women will only become invisible if we stop seeing ourselves.